Hey guys, Casual Chrono here. The most recent update gave us the East Mythos, and I know that's what everyone's playing right now. In my case, I was excited because with that release also came equipment sets. Yay! So I wanted to do a very brief video showing you how I've set up my equipment sets. So first, for those of you that have watched my Super Boss team videos, you all know that I have lots of teams. I have an Earth team, Water, Wind, Fire, Thunder, Crystal, and Magic/Null team. And they're all labeled as such up there. And as you can imagine, when you have multiple teams, and many of you can probably relate, it takes a while. If I'm fighting against a boss that's weak to Earth, I have to go through and switch out all the gear and hope to remember everything that she was equipped with, and it was a huge pain. Badges in particular, I mean, look at this little scroll bar. I've done like 6 scrolls and it hasn't even moved yet. I mean, it's ridiculous how horribly organized all this is. I mean, yeah, 5 years ago when there weren't that many badges and grastas and stuff, it wasn't too bad, but it's really gotten horrible organization-wise. So this is a very welcome change. So what I've done with equipment sets, and I'm not saying you all have to set it up the way I set it up, but this is just what I did. I thought about the roles of each character. Myunfa, Alter, for example, usually is used either as a magic support character or an earth support character, so I have a different set for them. You have the option of up to 5 different sets, and it depends on how far you are in the main story, if I remember the patch notes correctly. So if you're completely caught up with the story, you have 5 sets. If you're only on like chapter 20 or 30, you might only have like 2 or 3 sets. I'm not sure what the breakdown is. So if you don't have all 5 sets available to you, just keep chugging away at the storyline. So what I have done, the first 2 are usually their main roles. Pretty much every character can fit into 2 primary roles. One is based on their weapon, so in her case she is a magic user, and then the other role is usually her element. So in this case she is an earth user. And sure enough, she is used on many magic teams and earth teams. When you are choosing equipment, as long as no one else in this particular party is using it, it's free game. You're good to go. So for example, if Yifa is equipped with something that Myunfa wants, no problem. Go ahead and set it up in the equipment set. So what you do, you go through, you equip your gear, you equip your stuff, and let's just go ahead and stick with Earth since we're on an Earth team. So once you go ahead and equip her the way you like it, you go here, you can give it a name, max 12 characters, and then you click Save. And you register whatever you're currently equipped with. And whatever this is will become part of the Earth support team. And then, if you go to, for example, in her case, she's also part of my magic team. So then I go through, I equip these characters the way I want it, and in her case you will see that there's a slight difference in the Grasta area. So once she's equipped the way I want her to be equipped with the magic team, I would go here, give it a name, and the way I've been naming it, the type is first, and then the role is second. So in this case, magic and support. I'm max 12 characters, so I abbreviate in some cases. And then make sure, once you have it set up, you click Save. And you have your magic support. So let's go back to that Earth team. So Myunfa has all of this gear, and she is Earth support. I geared up Shannon, and you'll see that Shannon, being a sword user, often shares with Minalka and Thalil. So it shows you if another character is equipped with the gear right now. As long as that character is not part of this particular team, you're good to go. So I'm going to equip the team. It tells you that I'm removing it from Minalka, I'm giving it to Shannon. And now she's equipped. Claude, same thing. He is Earth support. You can see that his gear is scattered all over the place, but when I click equip, he has it. And Bertrand, being a tank, tanks often share a lot of things. So Sukiya has some stuff, Radius has some stuff, Alma has some stuff. So equip. And now he has all said stuff. For back row characters, if the first two positions are their primary roles, then I usually save the second two positions for back row. And again, I say type, but then I say back because their role is in the reserves. And the word reserves takes too much space, and we are limited to 12 characters. So, she is Earth back, and that's where I store all my Grasta. So, Power of Quake, Enhance if Max HP, and Amnesia. And that is because my main damage dealer, Shannon, is a sword user, an earth user, and has amnesia. So, with the equipment sets, first two primary roles. So if Deidre was being used for DPS, I would probably have like earth DPS or earth damage or something like that for the first position. Or, since she is a sword user, if I had her in a slash team, I might say slash damage, or slash back if she was a Grasta holder for my slash team. And Alter Shannon, Earth back, equip. And just like that, my entire Earth team is equipped and ready to go. So there's shared Grasta, fully equipped Bertrand, fully equipped Claude, fully equipped Shannon, fully equipped Myanfa. We are ready to rock and roll with the Earth team. If the very next boss is, for example, weak to Thunder, then I would switch over to my Thunder team. If I have the equipment sets set up, I would go through. She is Thunder support. Miyu is Thunder damage. Obero is Thunder damage. Orlea is a Thunder tank. You'll see that Myanfa has some of her gear right now. Sukiya, back row character. And I do realize that they already have the Grasta. I'm just trying to get into the habit of going through and re-equipping, just in case. Because the last thing I want to do is switch to a team, go into a fight, and then realize that half of their gear is missing. That's all it took, and now my Thunder team is ready to rock and roll. So that is how the equipment sets work. For characters that have more than one style, they each have their own equipment set. So if I do Orlea normal, she has 5 slots. If I do Orlea AS, she has 5 slots. So you don't have to share slots across different styles, which is very nice. When I was going through and setting up my equipment sets, I did discover that there were a few minor things I had overlooked over time. So, and I'll give you an example of one of them. Orlea is a tank. She wants endurance and spirit to survive, if you're not using her as a DPS. I had equipped her with Power of Rebirth, MP Consumption, and HP Restore. Reasons being, Power of Rebirth gave her a regen. MP Consumption also gave her 300 health, 10 spirit, and reduced the cost of her skills. And then HP Restore gave her 300 health, 5 endurance, and she is also equipped with 300 health for each one. So for a tank, she had about 7,500 health. Her endurance and spirit are hovering right around 200, and she did pretty well. I'm a min-maxer. I like to try and squeeze out every last possible point that I can to make my team better. It's just something I find fun. Some people it drives them crazy, some people that's the fun of it. I see it like a huge puzzle. But when I was going through and doing this, I would spend some time kind of looking. For example, HP Restore Axe. It gives me plenty of health, 600, and it has endurance, which is great for defense. But now I had the opportunity to spend some time and look around and discover, for example, Self-Healing Axe gives me the same amount of health, but 10 endurance. Same with Healing Power. So I could equip her with one of these, and she gains 5 additional endurance and doesn't lose anything. So do I want her to have more survivability, or do I want her to have less survivability? Well, more, please. So once I found something like that, then I could go through and save the new set. So that way, I fine-tuned her. She has an extra 5 endurance that she did not have before. And I noticed those little things when I was going through a lot of my teams. For example, Yifa wants spirit, and some of her gear gives spirit. So I could look around and find something that gives more spirit. And if I wanted to give it to her, I could. So it was kind of nice to be able to sit back and do little tiny tweaks here and there. I was able to squeeze out a few extra hit points on some characters. I think Yifa's spirit went up a little bit. And other characters that really require specific stats like Shani, Alter, and Soira want luck. So when I'm going through, I was able to find things that gave luck. And they were able to up their luck points just a little bit more. So feel free to go through and really fine-tune your characters, because as long as someone on this particular team doesn't need a piece of gear or a Grasta or something, it's fair game. And once your team is completely set up, it's really easy. So Thalil Lily, crystal damage, equip. Melissa, crystal support, equip. Mistrari, crystal support, equip. Alma, crystal tank, equip. Melina, reserve crystal or crystal back. I was playing around with different names, and I've kind of settled on the I totally misspelled that. YST. Crystal back. 12 letters. You don't have to click save for crystal back. The second you push enter, it's automatically saved. But anyway, crystal back, equip, and crystal back, equip. And now my crystal team has all the shared Grasta, all of the gear, and is ready to go out and absolutely wreck some things. So that's how easy these sets make it now. The 5th and final slot, you may have noticed it already on a few. I've set up a leveling slot for any character that is still leveling. So Aldo, for example, is level 92. I found that I want to give them all of the Cat's Queen gear, the Ether armors and stuff like that, the self-improvement Grasta for one character at least. And so while the first 2 slots are their main roles, the second 2 slots are reserve roles, I'm using the 5th slot as a leveling role. So that way, for example, I have a red key and a green key team. And I can go through, in Cesta's case, whoops, the only thing she does is damage, so I'm going to wreck things with her. Okay, Suzette, wind damage, she's fully equipped. Melissa is level 94, almost level 95, yay, 9 million to go. I have a leveling set for her. She has a Cat Queen's Katana, Ether Ring, and Experience Badge. So when I want to take her out on red key dungeons for a little bit of extra experience, I can very easily switch over and give her a huge experience boost. Shani Alter is already level 95 by basically doing the same thing. If I switch to her leveling gear, she has Cat's Queen, Ether Bangle, Experience Badge, and she's the one with the self-improvement. I find that extra 50% on top of all of the weapons and armor boosts really speeds it up. I'm actually kind of surprised how quickly she's reached 95. I've done some phase shift farming with her, and it's just been great, to be honest. So, in the case of red keys, I usually have someone gaining light and shadow points, and I just started working on the man-eating marsh, so Cyrus is up to 35. And then Ewan, if he wasn't already equipped with the leveling stuff, I would hit that, and he would have the Cat's Queen gear. So every time I run a red key, 3 characters are getting some nice experience boosts. Red key is the same way. That leveling slot, equip. She's already equipped as well. Fine has her own leveling slot. And Ewan, as you saw. So, first 2 positions, main role. Second 2 positions, reserves, like back row characters. 5th position, leveling. And that's how I have it set up. And equipping equipping teams for fights has really never been easier. The main thing you might have to think about, my water team uses Annabelle normal style. I'm still leveling her Stellar Awakened Holy Sentinel style, so a lot of times she is in this form, so you do have to remember to switch back to her style before giving her her back row Grasta, or whatever role she's playing. You know, you might not have her in the back row. So styles aside, knock yourselves out. I love this new system, and having the ability to swap between gear very easily, even if it's equipped on other people, is just amazing. So there you go, guys. Easy enough to switch teams, easy enough to go to the equipment sets. With a little bit of time, you can set up customized sets for whatever role they play or if they are leveling. So DPS, reserves, leveling. That's how I have the system set up. It seems to be working pretty well for me. It also gives me an opportunity, since I like to min-max characters, to kind of really think about what role they play in a party. If they're damaged, then I want them to maximize as much as they can damage-wise. However, if someone is a support character, I want to try and maximize their survivability. So if nothing else, this also kind of gives you a little bit of focus, for example, on how exactly they should be geared. Because let's face it, gearing in this game can be very confusing. I hope this video helps you to set up your own equipment sets and to make your teams even more unbeatable. Hope this helps. Casual Chrono, signing out.